not even on the guest list, come and have a seat at a greater feast. Now, I don't know about you, but many of my happiest memories involve eating with others. Meals can be places of generosity, fun, and intimacy. That's why Jesus loved mealtimes so much. But sometimes meals are places of tension, where underlying disagreements are revealed. And today's meal is a case in point. Two things make this meal in particular miserable. The first is the heartless attitude of the guests towards someone who needed compassion. The man in question has abnormal swelling, a buildup of fluid in his body tissue. Now, it's not life-threatening, but it is horrible. His skin would be itchy and uncomfortable permanently. And perhaps most painfully of all, and like many disabled people today, he would have lived with the social stigma attached to his condition. The very reason this man is at the party is not because he's a valued guest, but because Jesus' opponents are trying to entice him into a trap, to see whether Jesus will heal the disabled man on the Sabbath day. What must it have felt like for the man to stand there, aware he's being viewed simply through the lens of his disability? A man with an already heavy load is now subjected to the added glare of shame. But there is a second ugly characteristic to this mealtime, and it's that the guests are fighting over the places of honour at the table. Everyone wants the status that comes with the VIP seats closest to the host. This isn't actually the kind of party that Jesus enjoys, though. That's why he begins to ask some pointed questions on behalf of the disabled man. Those hosting the party may give the impression that it's only Sabbath law that's preventing them from helping him, but Jesus can see the hypocrisy at play. If, after all, it was their child in need of help, or even one of their oxen, they'd have helped, Sabbath day or not. These people are abusing the Sabbath, excusing themselves from helping those in need, including this disabled man. It's a total misuse of Sabbath law, which is why Jesus happily heals the man, even on the Sabbath. In fact, it's that attitude of putting themselves first that Jesus also sees behind the scramble for the best seats. Everyone is strategically positioning themselves, jostling to get the seat they've had their eye on closest to the host. Because everyone wants the recognition that comes with the place of honour, right? And we do see that today, don't we? Not around meal times, perhaps, but we constantly are working out where we sit in relation to others. Like I know I am. Think about when we get marks back on a piece of work. Why are we always so concerned to know how others have done? It's because we want to work out where we stand in the pecking order. Or on fitness apps, we constantly compare ourselves. Just how close to the top are we? We're always hoping it might be us. That's why we're all liable to show off and name drop. It's why we humble brag our achievements in casual conversation. It's why we present a vision of ourselves on social media that's designed to impress and even intimidate. It's also why we can hang back. The fear of failure makes us scared, reluctant to have a go at things. Like, nobody really wants the prize for participation. But because we can't all sit on the top table, we live in a world of winners and losers. And that leaves us always liable to be overawed by those above us and to disrespect those we think are beneath us. That's just like the religious leaders with this disabled man. But Jesus' way isn't like that. He's different. And in quite a cryptic bit of teaching, Jesus advises that when you're invited to a wedding feast, you shouldn't just turn up and go and sit in the place of honor. A more distinguished person might arrive later than you, then the host will have to awkwardly ask you to move. And that will be humiliating because you will have assumed more honor for yourself than others see in you. Instead, says Jesus, if you're wise, you'll take the least important place. Then when the host sees you, they'll beckon you up to a better seat. You'll be honored rather than humiliated. Jesus outlines the logic behind his teaching. He says, for all those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. What if, says Jesus, the path to true greatness isn't through putting yourself first, but by humbling yourself and putting others before you? What if the route to the top doesn't come by means of sharp elbows and despising the weak, but by serving them? A day is coming, says Jesus, when those who have made it to life's top table will find that that is as good as it gets. A brief moment of human recognition. But those who have used their lives to put others first will find that their actions make heaven's hall of fame eternally honored by God. And just to be clear, our treatment of other people can't earn us a way into heaven. Only Jesus' death can. Nevertheless, God will ensure any love and humility we show will be honored. And in the words of verse 14, we will be repaid on the day of the resurrection of the righteous. And that's that future day on which Jesus will put the world right. In the meantime, Jesus calls us to let that future shape our meals today. And those who were least likely to be invited to meals in Jesus' day remain the same today. In our universities, these include those with disabilities or long-term illnesses, and those in financial hardship. To these groups, we might also add those with less confidence speaking English. But what if your Christian union followed Jesus in the meals you host? Not using them to move up the pecking order, but instead echoing the kindness you've received in Jesus. What if you went out of your way to invite those who are rarely included? Jesus says God will ensure that your actions will be rewarded, even if no one else sees them. And in the meantime, perhaps others at your university will become aware of a God who graciously invites people free of charge, just as they are.